Welcome to the new IT. Here we are talking about the new IT, the future of IT, what is going on in the world, and the future of hiring, firing, all of that good stuff. What are we talking about today, Brad?
Today's topic is recruiting fees.
Recruiting fees.
Yep.
And this is kind of a, it's actually deeper than that. I mean,
much deeper
the title, it's kind of a two-part series from last week when we talked about why should a person, which are called a candidate, why should a candidate want to use a recruiter? But now, this week, we're going to talk about the other side. Why, with me as a company, why should I use a recruiter? This is where it gets interesting because there's recruiting fees.
Absolutely.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it for me, a company?
100%.
Well, of course, from your opinion, it's.
Of course.
If you didn't, I would be worried right now.
Right. Exactly.
So we're going to dive into that and see why it's important.
Exactly. And that's the whole point of today is we just want to give information out there that you should be understanding from a company standpoint of why you need a recruiter.
Yeah. So to start off, the big question is, if I use a recruiter, my company uses a recruiter, can I really actually find the best candidates? Are you going to find me better than I can find me people?
Absolutely. From an IT perspective, absolutely. We live and breathe IT. That's what we do. Every day we're talking to people that are in the IT space. So we understand and we know who's looking for what and what the best candidates' skill sets are, so we can then present them to you. It's our job to give you the best talent in the market and to attract that top talent to you.
So especially if I'm an HR manager or something like that, a hiring manager that's hiring everybody in the company, they just are not going to know the things you know,
Exactly.
the questions to ask. Is that what you're telling me?
Exactly. I mean, is HR really IT? I mean, that's the question. I mean, they don't know what to ask. They don't know what to look for from an IT standpoint. We do.
Do you know better than the manager that's doing the hiring? I mean, they should understand and know what kind of candidate that they're looking for. Can you really find them a better candidate than they could look for?
Potentially, yeah. But I mean, you got to remember, from a technical standpoint, that's as a company, you have certain skill sets that you need that person to go after. So as a recruiting company or a recruiter, it is my job to find that based off of what you're telling me. So yes, we can get them to your hiring manager, but it's ultimately the hiring manager's decision.
And I guess it's not his job.
Exactly.
I mean, it is his job to hire, but it's not what he was really hired for, is to manage his team and do the work that it takes to run the company. And you're saying, my whole focus is
providing
that's
you that
my
talent.
job.
Exactly.
That is my job. Am I the person that's 100% looking and doing going to be better than you that have to do it on the side of your actual job?
Exactly.
Who's going to do a better job?
Well, and let's face it. I mean, let's be realistic. Talent acquisition is kind of clumped together with all of HR, but quite honestly, it's a monster of its own, and it should have its own department. Most companies don't realize that, and they don't focus on that. So
some of them have a recruiter, though, right?
Yeah, some of
the
have
big
internal.
companies have internal recruiters.
But again, that's are they specialized, or are they more generalized?
They're doing everything for the
Exactly.
company. Exactly. So, with all of that said, why should I, as a client, as a company, why should I hire a recruiter?
Well, I mean, personally, I mean, we know how to understand. We work with you and we understand what it is you're trying to look for in a candidate. And then we take that information and then it is our job to find those candidates. So we know how to position it best to make it more attractive. As an HR person or as a hiring manager, you may not have those skills to be able to say, this is what you're going to be doing.
You make it look attractive to the potential candidate.
We sexy it up for you.
Ah, interesting. And make them want the job.
Make it more attractive.
Oh, interesting. I never even thought about that.
Right.
I'm hiring. You should want to have me. But I guess to get the best, you want to entice them. That makes sense.
Exactly. Well, and you do that through a number of ways, and that's what we know, and that's what we do.
Here's the big key, though. You're charging for this. This is something that you charge.
Absolutely.
So are you really going to save these clients time and specifically money? Are you going to actually save them? And if so, what does that look like? How do you save them time? Let's start there. How do you save them time?
Yeah, I mean, saving time, I mean, you come to us and we can get you candidates with, I mean, personally, I mean, I can't speak for all recruiters, but personally, as a company, our average fill time is about 23 days. So it takes us 23 days to fill a position. If you're more generalized, we can speed that up.
I've seen months go by before.
Which ties me into this. I mean, I've actually had I've had clients who came to me, said, we've had this position open for a year. We can't find anybody, but we were able to fill it within, I think it was like 16 days.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that is a time saver. And again, it's not really my job. My job isn't to sit here and hire people all the time.
Yeah.
I just want the best person for the job that we need to do.
Exactly.
So obviously now money. How do you save them money though? How do you save the company money when they're obviously paying? I mean, can we be open and honest and say what kind of a percentage? What do you make on that?
It really depends. I mean, an average recruitment fee for a direct hire position can range anywhere from 20 to 35%, just depending on how long it's been. There's lots of different factors, but yeah, I mean that's generally
20 to 30% in and around there.
Yeah,
and that is for a year cost.
Yep.
Is
so
that what that
means? That's the first year salary for that.
First year salary, 20 to 30% of a first year salary is a recruiter fee.
Exactly.
Something
so that's generally how it works.
So how do you save them that? How do they get ROI on that?
So there's this little thing called cost of vacancy, and you can break it up by taking your company's gross revenue and dividing it by your employees and understand exactly how long that position has been open. So when you do that, that equates you to be able to say, it's costing me, this open position is costing me X amount of dollars each day, each month, each week to be able to have this position open. Not to mention
math.
Exactly. Not to mention having that open position, how much extra stress are you putting on your current staff?
Yes.
How much are they going to be overworked?
Many times. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So is it really worth it for you?
And it's quite a disruptor. I mean,
it is
to have to fill that position or to have everybody doing extra duty.
Exactly.
And then when the person does come in, finally, it's a new disruptor because now you got to release the things you were doing.
Exactly.
And yeah, the longer you have to hold on to that, definitely the more disruptive it is. That's for sure.
Exactly. And that's the whole point is, would you rather pay a little bit now up front, or would you rather think long term and save money by using a recruiter?
And I would think all the way around, getting somebody in there as quick as you can is better.
100% agree.
And not having to do all the legwork, sending out the resumes, looking through all the, because I'm assuming you do all of that.
Absolutely.
You look through all of the resume. You only send them really, really qualified candidates.
Absolutely. We do all the vetting for you. So you're only getting people that have actually gone from a TechBridge standpoint. We do a 2-interview process internally. So we vet them twice. So we understand what the candidate's capabilities are, and we're only presenting you as the client the top tier candidates that we feel that based off of what you told us is what your needs are.
So if I'm the IT manager and I've got a position out there and you're the recruiter, how many resumes and people am I going to probably have to look at or listen to or whatever?
With using a recruiter or without?
With using a recruiter.
With using a recruiter.
With using you specifically.
We're going to use it specifically we're going to tailor it to you. So we're going to send you 2 to 3 up front, and then you're going to choose
2 to 3 resumes is all.
Well,
that's all I got. I mean, that's start. I mean, that's
exactly
instead of a stack of 500.
Exactly. So we're going to tailor our search enough to be able to give you the top candidates within your budget, within what your skill set is, what you're looking for, and then start that process from there. If you like them, then you move on to an interview. If you want to continue down that path, you do. But if not, then we can tweak our search based off of your feedback.
Wow. And I just do 2 or 3 resumes at a time.
Exactly.
And you say average 28 days to hire.
23.
Wow. That it seems like a no-brainer. Again, we talked about the other side of why using a recruiter to get a job, and that seemed, geez, there's no reason not to. And now if I'm a company that wants to, be lean and or what's the word I'm looking for? Not consistent, but really agile, or anyway.
Agile is probably the best word.
I know where
you're going with that.
I would want things in position to where we can get hires quick, fast, get things done.
Exactly.
And efficient. Why not use a recruiter?
Yeah, and it's funny because most companies don't look at it that way. They only see the front side of saying, I have to pay for this, but they don't understand how much they're losing because they're not using one.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Oh, interesting. So I can quicker is better.
Absolutely. I mean,
quicker, but also higher quality. Would you say?
You have to. You have to have quality. I mean, we're not just going to submit, some random people to you.
That's the key.
Exactly.
It's high quality, not just faster hires, but it's the best quality hires. Is that
absolutely
right?
And we're taking our direction from you. So we're working with you, and we consider ourselves to be a part of your team and an extension of your company. So we want to do everything we can to make sure that we are providing that value to you from that standpoint.
So why don't I just use Monster, Indeed, or any of those other job posting things? Why don't I just use them? It's not going to cost me much. Why not just use them? And it's going to take me some time, but why? What's the definitive? This is why you really probably shouldn't just do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of reasons, but I mean, just right offhand, okay, let's say you do post a job on there. The average amount of resumes that you get per like a software engineer position is 500 positions or 500 applicants.
Yeah,
do you really have the time to go through all of those applications and say, okay, this one's good, or do you not?
And they probably all are pretty similar, aren't they?
It depends. They could be. They couldn't be.
How could
really
you
depends.
pick between 500 job applicants? I mean, you could probably go through pretty quickly and do probably 25% of them and go, yeah, that's an idiot. That's stupid. Yeah. But even 75% of 500
it's still
too
a lot.
Much.
Exactly. And that's where, like I said, that's where we already know. We know who's looking. We know what candidates are available in the market. So we generally have a good assumption of what it is you're looking for, and we can start to fill that immediately.
So then how can you get better talent than me? How are you able to get better talent than I am? I mean, as a recruiter, how come you're this magical sauce?
Well, that's my
getting
job.
Better talent.
I mean, every day I'm looking at candidates. Every day I'm talking to candidates. I know who's in the market. I know who's looking. I know who's not. I know who's passively looking.
That's all you do all day long.
I know who your competitors are, and I know who their talent is. So I can understand and learn that and use that to my advantage.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting. Let's see. Oh man, I'm at a loss for.
So why would, from you're a business owner? I mean, what would attract you to using a recruiter?
Well, after talking and understanding the ins and outs now, I mean, I understand it more than I ever have, and it seems like a no-brainer, especially if you're a growth mode company that. Time is money, especially in hiring. Mm-hmm. It seems like a no-brainer. If you're a small company, and maybe you can answer this, a real small company, I hire 1 or 2 people a year, and it's I like to take my time and connect, and they probably don't need a recruiter, right? That kind of company.
In my opinion, yes, I still think they need a recruiter. But
there you go.
I'm going to go to the adage saying that if you're not growing, you're stagnant, and if you're stagnant, then where are you? Where's your company going? Every company has aspirations to grow and to do better than the previous year. So we tailor our plans to help you with that, either growth or that potential growth, and we're there for you for that.
So if I'm just a company that sucks at hiring, I just am not good at it. We just don't have a good track record as far as it's just not our thing. I think we've already answered the question that you'd be stupid not to use a recruiter. But how would you talk a company in to, let's say, they just are not, they do not have a good hiring process, and what would you say to them as a recruiter? How am I going to help you be a better hirer?
Well, first and foremost, we help you understand. We consider ourselves advocates for you and for your company. So yes, we're coming in from a hiring standpoint, but any good owner of a company understands and knows that it's about his employees and his workforce that make up who his company or who their company is. So with that in mind, we help you understand what your onboarding process looks like. We help you streamline your process. We help you get all of that up to speed, and we're there to lend a lending ear, so to speak, if you do have questions or you need help with anything other than hiring.
Got it. Oh, interesting. So how do you, just in a nutshell, just kind of overview of what we've been talking about, how do you create results? How do you as a recruiter create results for these clients?
Well, we're based off of, I mean, we get paid based off of results. So it's our job to be able to make sure that we are finding you the best talent. It's our job to make sure that candidate
If you're not the best, you wouldn't stay in business.
Exactly. It's our job to help make sure that you retain that top talent. So again, we're making sure that we're doing follow-ups with you just to see how the candidate's doing after they start. We're making sure that we're checking in, periodically on a weekly, monthly basis to make sure that that candidate is hitting your expectations. So we're there for you from that standpoint. But make no mistake, I mean, it's not just small companies who are having this issue. I mean, there are large organizations that have this need for software engineers, like Sitecore developers or Adobe Experience Manager developers. That type of talent is in such demand that these companies just don't understand, and they don't know how to find these people, and that's where we come in.
You said last week on the episode last week that the reason recruiting has this kind of little cloud over it is because there are some shady recruiters out there. There are recruiters that do their kind of mills that aren't much better than just using your own HR or whatever. So how do I, as a company, how do I know the difference between a recruiter that's going to hold my hand, that's going to be a powerful connection, and somebody that's just milling it out? Is there a way I can be aware of that as a company to know the best recruiters out there?
Yeah, I mean, more than anything else, it's building those relationships. If you have a recruiter or an agency who's just looking for that quick dollar, chances are is they don't have your best interest at heart. They're just looking.
How do I know that they're out for that quick dollar? What is there a red flag I can look for? Or
you have to talk with them. You have to get to know them. You have to understand. So just having conversations. If a recruiter's not offering some support or some advice in something related to the position you're trying to fill from the first meeting, chances are is they don't have your best interest at heart.
Is there a way I should go looking for a recruiter? Other than just go to TechBridge?
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of ways. I mean, you can Google. I mean, you can do searches. I mean, you can understand it. Like what I tell my candidates, do your homework. Understand what type of agency you're looking for, and then go and research them and learn about them and learn what they do. Check out positive reviews. Check out if there are any reviews and see more about them.
Yeah, and you think it's probably better to be more specific because TechBridge is a very niche, specific to IT only recruiter. You think that is a better, because I'm sure there's recruiting companies out that just kind of are full all over the place recruiters that will find anybody for you. I mean, that's not much different than a staffing.
Exactly, and it's exactly the same thing. I mean, you want somebody
who's
not
hand-holding that way.
Exactly.
Well, interesting. Any last words about why me as a person or as a company should use a recruiter, just to wrap this up? Is anything else?
The best thing I can say is it saves you time, and it saves you a lot of money and a lot of headaches.
A lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of headaches. That seems like a no-brainer again. It seems like this is and again, this isn't a commercial. We're just telling it like it is, right?
Exactly.
This is what it is in this industry, in the IT industry, and in the future. I believe this is the new IT. We're going to see even more and more recruiters because we're not going to spend the time wasting our time trying to find the best top talent. Why would you do that?
Exactly. Well, and now more than ever too. I mean, with the gig economy, you're going to a lot of project-based work. So you're going from a steady position where it's guaranteed to, if you want to understand and learn and know more in the industry, these candidates, they want to make sure that they're getting that top notch, and working with a specialized recruiter will help you find those people.
Absolutely. Wow. This was good stuff. Super good stuff. Okay, folks, you've been a part of another episode of The New IT. Look at us next week. We'll see you next time for The New IT.